staff over in Homer on that, and just like all other, villages or that, we like to listen to them, listen to the constituents of ours, as well as make sure that they're well informed as far as what's going on. And, I've heard nobody say anything positive about expanding this to, 2 lanes each direction. So I just wanted to make sure that was on the record.
All right, thank you, Jim. Anyone else from the committee? Member Balich, good morning.
Good morning. I just want to point out a little bit of the history of this thing. Back in 2012, that's when this started. There were no warehouses in 2012 over there for the most part. I think there was one further south, and there was talk of building one. So there was there wasn't a lot of trucks at all over there. The main problem in 2012, the people that are complaining about not being able to get out of their driveways and all that, that existed, and that never changed. It's still the same, except now there's more opportunity for trucks to go up and down that road. In 2012, the people were screaming about raised barrier medians. And Mike Frizzolone and myself were on the board. We represented that area, and we got those stopped. So it turned into a turn lane in the middle, which is fine. But the village board, the township board, the people over there, nobody was thinking truck traffic. Nobody was thinking of increased traffic, because there was none in 2012. Now you fast forward 12 years, what do we got? We got all kinds of warehouses over there. We got a lot of cars and trucks that will go there. If we build the road the way it's designed right now, they will use it. There's no reason they wouldn't use it. And that's the problem. Right now, if you go down there anytime during the day, the only time traffic backs up is when it's in the rush hour for the most part. And then if you put a middle lane to turn, just had one lane in each direction and a middle lane to turn, you wouldn't have any backups. But if you put in 2 lanes on each side, what do you got? No red lights from the expressway all the way to Golden Oak Drive. So you have an expressway now. So if you say, well, I'm going to reduce the speed limit down to 20 miles an hour, you think that's going to stop the people from doing 70 when there's nothing there? And the police can't park a car there to constantly give tickets. So all those people that live there, and there's a lot of flag lots over there. If anyone doesn't know what that means there's 3 houses off of one driveway or more. So now all these people that come out of their driveway that go on to 143rd, it's the only way they can get out, are going to be facing trucks coming or cars coming at a rapid pace. And the Village of Homer Glen, I had a discussion at their board about it yet, but the mayor called me and said she's against it. And then I've talked to 3 trustees. They're against it from the village. I saw the mayor here with 2 of her trustees, and I'm hoping they get up and talk. The whole township board says, no way, don't do it. I'm looking at what's happening here. We got Hadley Road, Parker Road, 143rd Street. Everything's getting made bigger. And there's no traffic on these roads right now. There's none. You get in your car and you go down 143rd Street right now, you'll have smooth sailing all the way through. So if you want to run into a traffic jam, go there after church on Sunday morning. People have to come out of the church. So you're going to widen the road for Sunday morning masses? Is there a traffic jam when the schools come out? Sometimes, sometimes not. But you're going to widen the road for 1 hour for every day? How much money does that cost? And then all the people that are going to lose their land. Like on Hadley Road, the former mayor Jim Daly told me that road will be 20 feet from his window. Now, I know we're going to give the road, Hadley Road, to the Village of Homer Glen, and I still haven't got my thing. I was told that it's in the works, my actual written thing, that the jurisdictional transfer that I put in for the township, but you guys haven't got it yet, but you're going to get it. But all this stuff is all of a sudden hitting in our area, Homer Glen, Homer Township. Why? Is it to move trucks from the expressway east into Cook County? Because those cars are not going to stop at our businesses and spend money. They're going to keep going, and they're not going to stop. So why would they? If you want to go to McDonald's, are you going to do a turnaround and go to McDonald's when you can get to McDonald's somewhere else a lot easier? The answer is no. You're going to go down and stop at any of our businesses and spend money? No. You're just going to keep going. And so it's going to be a real nice thing for Cook County. Real nice. And I understand road districts. A road commissioner like Jeff, and I'm not insulting the guy because it's just how the nature of the beast is. If you give a little kid a bunch of Lincoln logs, remember them things to build a house? And you give them 100 Lincoln logs, they'll build a nice house with 100 Lincoln logs. But if you tell them, hey, I can give you another 50. Yeah, give me the other 50. And they'll build a bigger house. But do you need the bigger house? And that's what's going on with this. Road commissioners like to build roads. And I'm a government official. I care about the people. I've always said that government sucks because they infringe on people's rights a lot of times. And when you're looking at these roads, these are infringements on people's rights. Their value of their property is going to decay. And then the safety for them coming in and out of their driveways is going to be worse. It's bad now. It'll be way worse. So I'm asking that we stop this project the way it is and make it one lane in each direction with a turning lane in the middle. And if we can't do that, don't do anything. Leave it alone. Because it'll be worse fixing it than it is now. Thank you.
Sherry.
Yes, I had a question for Mr. Ronaldson. Whenever this was started, way back in '09 or whatever, were there objections from the villages and cities at that time?
With over 100 people, there's positive and negative, both. The village officials were there, the township officials were there, fire districts, school representatives were there, all had various comments, which again, I mentioned we could mitigate some. We can't mitigate it all because we do have to look at a regional look, not just at the property owners themselves. But yes, there were negative. Like I just mentioned, 3 of the 4 that were here last month, you could say we probably were against the project. Those same 3 were here at those meetings as well. So there were, of course, people that were opposed. And then people who wanted it out there to address the safety issues. So they wanted improvement out there. So we had both sides.
Was that from the mayor and those officials? Were they objecting?
We have new mayors and officials now. The mayor is new, was not here during that time frame. I don't know about the trustees. The mayor is new.
Yeah, but at that time, he wasn't new there. Did he object at that time?
They did not voice any objection.
All right, thank you, Sherry. Before we move on, folks, sometimes we have trouble with our system. Is it okay? Can you guys hear okay back there? Is everything okay? Okay. Sometimes we need to lean forward and speak loud, but I just want to make sure everybody could hear. All right, thank you. Elle, good morning.
Good morning. I appreciate hearing both the negatives and positives for this project, and it's important for us here on the committee to really understand the full breadth of what this project entails and how it's going to affect the community. I respectfully disagree that if we give Jeff more logs, he's just going to want to build and build and build. I think we have to build responsibly, and infrastructure is important. part of what I'm hearing here is that if to the east and west of this project, there is already an expansion of lanes, I do worry about the community within the project limits and how the congestion could build over a projected timeline. These are projects that were designed back in 2008 with the foresight of what our communities are going to look like in the future, in 2030, in 2040, and later in this meeting, we're going to talk about 2050. And so I do think that we have to be, really invest in our future. And it's not an easy decision considering the impact to the residents who live, along this strip on 143rd today. I just wanted to kind of raise that point that there was a lot of, at least from the history and the presentation provided here, a lot of conversations that have taken place on the Will County Board. This has been part of the overall project to build up Will County and all of the capital improvements, and there was no objection then. And I am taking into account some of the things that we're hearing today from those representatives of the district that this impacts. Thank you.
Thank you, Elle. Anyone else from the committee? Steve, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out another road that would go through Lockport, Homer, Glen. It's called the Caton Farm Bruce Road Extension, and that started 30-something years ago. And fast forward to today, I talked with the mayor of Lockport, and he doesn't want the road to be like it is, because none of the towns around it want that in there the way it was designed 30 years later. So now the mayor says to me that he wants Homer Township, Lockport Township, and Homer Glen, and the village of the city of Lockport, all to chip in to build a on-off thing off of Bruce Road so they can eliminate the other route that takes you to 159th Street. That's 30 years later. So I said, well, why don't we just tell the federal government to stop the phase that we're in and tell them to keep their money? It's okay. We don't want it. He says that the federal government says that if we don't finish the phase, we got to give them the money. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't have the authority to do it, but as a group, why do they want to finish the phase, spend all that money, and then kill the deal? Why? It don't make any sense. I'd be calling the congressman up on the phone and saying, hey, we don't want this 30 years later. It don't fit in our plans. So even though we got the money, just don't give us any more. Don't finish the money it costs to finish this phase. But that isn't happening. They're going to finish the phase, and the thing's going to get killed. It's the same thing with this. 12 years later, it doesn't fit in the plans for the township or the village. I don't know, because they haven't weighed in 100% yet. But if it don't fit into plans anymore, why do it? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to me. Just kill it. Don't spend any more money on it. Or if you're going to do it the way I said. But if we're going to do things just because we got the money, that's a dumb reason. We're supposed to represent our people. And if our people don't want this, we shouldn't be doing it. Isn't this a representative democracy still? I haven't heard a change. So I think it's inherent upon all of us to listen to the residents. We did it for the people in Green Garden with the solar farms. We voted no, even though we know we're probably going to get sued. But we stood up for the people. And that's what I'm asking you guys to do now. Stand up for the residents of Homer Township and Homer Glen and Lockport. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.